5-number summary, Boxplots. Here we have 4 different distributions. We have a uniform distribution, a bell-shaped distribution, right-skewed distribution, and a left-skewed distribution. For each distribution, Q1, Q2, Q3 split the distribution up into 4 equal parts. Each part is worth 25%. Q stands for quartiles. We have 4 quarters and 3 quartiles. Quartiles. The first quartile, Q1, is the median of the bottom half of the data set. The second quartile, Q2, is the median of the entire data set. The third quartile, Q3, is the median of the top half of the data set. To determine the quartiles, Step 1. Arrange the data in increasing order. Step 2. Find the median of the entire data set. This value is the second quartile, Q2. Step 3. Divide the ordered data set into 2 halves, a bottom half and a top half. If the number of observations is odd, include the median in both halves. Step 4. Find the median of the bottom half of the data set. This value is the first quartile, Q1. Step 5. Find the median of the top half of the data set. This value is the third quartile, Q3. Step 6. Summarize the results. Example. Obtain the quartiles. The data show the number of hours of television watched per day by a sample of 11 people. Our data set contains 6, 6, 0, 4, 8, 5, 9, 1, 7, 1, 5. Our first step is to put the data set in numerical order. So I have 0, 1, 1, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want to find the median of our data set. So for 11 pieces of data, the middle will be the 6th piece of data, which is 5. That splits our data into the lower half and our upper half. So we know that the middle piece of data, 5, is the median of our data set, or Q2. Looking at the lower half of our data, 0, 1, 1, 4, 5, we have 5 numbers. The median of the lower half is 1, which will be called Q1. Then looking at the upper half of our data set, we have 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. The middle of those 5 numbers is 7, which is our median, Q3. To recap, Q1 equals 1, Q2 equals 5, Q3 equals 7. Interquartile range. The interquartile range, or IQR, is the difference between the first and third quartiles. That is, IQR equals Q3 minus Q1. Using our television data, we want to calculate the interquartile range. Q1 is 1, Q2 is 5, Q3 is 7. The IQR will equal 7 minus 1, which is 6. 5-number summary. The 5-number summary of a data set is min, Q1, Q2, Q3, max. We will use our 5-number summary to create what's called a box and whiskers plot. We start with our minimum entry and end with our maximum entry. We draw a line connecting those dots. Then we plot Q1, Q2, and Q3. We draw a box around those data points, and our IQR, interquartile range, are the data points within the box, and that's going to be the middle 50% of our data. Revisiting the television data set, find the 5-number summary of the data set. We already have Q1, Q2, and Q3. Our minimum is 0. Our maximum is 9. Lower and upper limits. The lower and upper limit of a data set are: lower limit equals Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. Upper limit equals Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. Finding the upper and lower limits can help us identify outliers. Example: find the lower limit and upper limit of a data set. Using the television data set, Q1 equals 1, Q2 equals 5, Q3 equals 7, IQR equals 6, min equals 0, max equals 9, we want to start with the lower limit, which is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. So this equals 1 minus 1.5 times 6, which equals -8. Our upper limit is Q3 plus 1.5 times the IQR. Substituting, we have 7 plus 1.5 times 6, which gives us 16. Since there are no data points below -8 or above 16, there are no outliers. To construct a box plot, Step 1, determine the quartiles. Step 2, determine potential outliers and the adjacent values. Step 3, draw a horizontal axis on which the numbers obtained in Step 1 and 2 can be located. Above this axis, mark the quartiles and the adjacent values with vertical lines. Step 4, connect the quartiles to make a box, and then connect the box to adjacent values with lines. Step 5, plot each potential outlier with an asterisk. Example, construct a box plot. We're still using our television data, the same quartiles, max and min and IQR. The first thing we want to do is draw a number line. While I have hash marks at each number, I have only labeled the evens. I started with 0, then labeled 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. First, I'm going to plot my min at 0. Then I'm going to plot Q1 at 1. Then I'm going to plot Q2 at 5. Then I'll plot Q3 at 7. Then I will plot the max at 9. Next, I want to connect the dots with a line. Notice that my 5-number summary is plotted above the number line, not on the number line. Next, we want to draw a box with lines through Q1 and Q3 containing Q2. This is our interquartile range. Finally, we draw a line through the median. One option we have in drawing our box plot is to replace the maximum and minimum with lines. So I have a line at 0, a line at 9, and I don't use the dots. Box plots. If my box plot is right skewed, the box looks like it is to the left and our skewed data is toward the right. If the box plot is symmetric, then our box will be right in the middle. If our box plot is left skewed, the skewed portion of our line will be to the left of our box. Example, obtain the quartiles. A statistics center compiles data on the length of stay by patients in short-term hospitals. A random sample of 21 patients yielded the data on length of stay in days shown below. We have our data points 25, 3, 6, 7, 4, 19, 49, 22, 24, 20, 18, 6, 9, 2, 22, 25, 6, 12, 10, 21, 22. This data set is far too big to try to do by hand. we want to use our calculator. Once we have our calculator, we want to go to Stat, Edit, and we want to type our data set in L1. So I have 25, enter, 3, enter, 6, enter, 7, enter, 4, enter, 19, enter, 49, enter, 22, enter, 24, enter, 20, enter, 18, enter, 6, enter, 9, enter, 2, enter, 22, enter, 25, enter, 6, enter, 12, enter, 10, enter, 21, enter, 22, enter. I've made a mistake with my last number, so I arrow up, retype it, and press enter. Now that we've typed in our data, we're ready to find our 5-number summary. Stat, arrow over to Calc, on Variable Statistics, enter. Some of you will see this screen, List, Frequency List, Calculate. We want to arrow down to the frequency list, clear, arrow down so that Calculate's highlighted, and enter. Others of you will see when you have Stat Calc, var stats, enter. You can either press enter or type second, L1, then press enter. Either way, we should have this data with the var stats. Anytime you see an arrow, that tells you that you have more information. So if I arrow down, I can see the rest of the information under var stats. I have the information that I need. The min is 2, Q1 is 6, the median Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22, the max is 49. So I've obtained my quartiles. Q1 is 6, Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22. Now we want to interpret the quartiles. Since our quartiles divide up our data into 25% pieces, the quartiles suggest that 25% of the patients stayed less than 6 days, since 6 is Q1. 25% stayed between 6 and 18 days, since 6 is Q1 and 18 is Q2. 25% stayed between 18 and 22 days, since 18 is Q2 and 22 is Q3. And 25% stayed more than 22 days, since Q3 is 22. Example: determine and interpret the interquartile range. We're still using our hospital data, so Q1 is 6, Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22. We want to find our IQR, which is 22 minus 6, which gives us 16. The IQR represents the middle 50%. The length of stay in the middle 50% of patients spans roughly 16 days. Find and interpret the 5-number summary. So far we've written down Q1 is 6, Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22. We also know our IQR is 16. From our calculator, we noted that our min was 2 and our max was 49. To interpret the 5-number summary, we want to see how many days have passed for each of our intervals. Starting with our min 2 and Q1 6, 6 minus 2 is 4. The number of days that passed from Q1 to Q2, 18 minus 6, is 12. The number of days that have passed Q2 to Q3 from 18 to 22 is 4. And the number of days that have passed from Q3 to our max, 49 minus 22 is 27. We also want to know how many days have passed for our middle percentage of our data. We can find that by either taking Q3 minus Q1, 22 minus 6, or simply adding 12 and 4 to get 16. To interpret our data, we know that the fourth quarter has the greatest variation, which is 27, and the middle 50% has the next largest variation at 16 days, and the first quarter has the least variation, which is 4 days. Example: identify potential outliers, if any. Using the hospital data, we know our Q1 is 6, Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22, the IQR is 16, the min is 2, the max is 49. We want to find our lower limit and upper limit. Our lower limit is Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR, which is 6 minus 1.5 times 16, which gives us negative 18. None of our data points are smaller than a negative 18. Now we want to find the upper limit, Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. That's 22 plus 1.5 times 16, which gives us 46. We have one data point that's larger than 46, and it's 49. The potential outlier is 49. Example: construct a box plot of the data. So we have Q1 is 6, Q2 is 18, Q3 is 22, the IQR is 16, the min is 2, the max is 49. We know that our max is an outlier, so we have to keep that in mind when we are drawing our graph. First, we have our number line. For this number line, I've chosen to number it by tens. So I start with 0 and end with 60. Our first dot is the min, 2. Our next dot is Q1, which is 6. Our next dot is Q2, which is 18. The next dot is Q3, which is 22. The next dot is the max, which is 49. Again, our 49 is an outlier, so we want to use the next highest number as our max, which is 25. So we're going to change our 49 to an asterisk, and we're going to draw our line from 6 to 25. We're still going to include our box from 6 to 22 and draw a line through 18. Then I'm going to draw my line at the min and our new max and remove our dots. So we have our box plot. Example: interpret the box plot. We're still using the hospital data. The potential outlying observation falls far from the rest of the data. The other stays vary from 2 to 25 days. The majority of the stays were between 6 and 22 days. 2 is our minimum, 25 was our new maximum, 6 was Q1, 22 was Q3. To recap the 5-number summary and box plots, quartiles are 4 parts of our graph, each containing 25% of our data. They are separated by Q1, Q2, and Q3. The interquartile range is the middle 50% of the data, and it is Q3 minus Q1. 5-number summary is the minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3, and the maximum. A box plot is a graph of our 5-number summary.